Imagine gliding above traffic jams, skipping hours of gridlock, and landing at your destination in a matter of minutes, all without leaving the comfort of your own car. Until now, the flying car has been a sci-fi fantasy, a staple of futuristic blockbusters and sci-fi novels. But what if I told you that the era of the flying car isn't a far-off dream, but a technology about to take flight in the real world? Today, we're diving into the AirCar, the world's first certified road-legal flying car, and how it's poised to upend not just how we travel, but the very design of cities themselves. Will it be an urban revolution or a premium toy for the ultra-rich? The next 20 minutes might change how you picture your morning commute, and possibly the future of mobility itself. Few inventions have captured public imagination like the flying car. From the Jetsons buzzing through futuristic cityscapes to the Back to the Future DeLorean soaring through time and space, the idea of a car that can take off and escape earthly constraints is the ultimate symbol of freedom. For decades, inventors tinkered in their garages, dreaming up prototypes that usually ended up as either awkward cars or awkward planes, never both. But in 2021, something remarkable happened in Slovakia. A company called Klein Vision, led by innovator Stefan Klein, accomplished what generations before could not. Their AirCar was not only real, but it also received a certificate of airworthiness from the Slovak Transport Authority after clocking 70 hours of successful test flights, including over 200 takeoffs and landings. This wasn't just a proof of concept. This was a flight from the city of Nitra to Bratislava, lifting off from one international airport and landing at another, then driving away on regular roads, seamlessly morphing from airplane to car in about 3 minutes. Fast forward to today, and Klein Vision is ready to reveal the AirCar 2, a production-ready prototype that promises even greater performance. With a projected top speed of 200 kilometers per hour on the road and over 250 kilometers per hour in the air, and a flight range of 1,000 kilometers, the AirCar 2 is already capturing the attention of technophiles and investors. The price tag, hovering between $800,000 and $1 million, keeps it firmly in luxury territory for now, but the numbers behind its development are staggering. A 15% weight reduction from early prototypes thanks to advances in materials science, a BMW-sourced combustion engine with an eye on electrification for the future, and a ballistic parachute system for emergency landings, a vital nod to safety. Stefan Klein, humbled by a special recognition award from the living legends of aviation, declared recently, "The AirCar fulfills a lifelong dream to bring the freedom of flight into the hands of everyday people. With the launch of our production prototype, we are one step closer to transforming how the world moves, merging the road and the sky into a new dimension of personal mobility." But is this innovation really for the masses? Only a handful of people in the world hold both a driver's license and a pilot's license, and the vast majority of us are content to leave the skies to commercial pilots and the occasional hobbyist. Yet, Klein Vision isn't alone in betting on a revolution. Independent analysts now forecast the market for roadable aircraft could exceed $500 million by 2030, as regulatory agencies like the European Union Aviation Safety Agency, EASA, begin actively developing new, tailored certification standards. If you're wondering, why now? The answer is a confluence of technology, infrastructure dreams, and shifting societal expectations. First, technology has caught up. The transition from car to airplane mode happens in just 3 minutes. No tools, no mechanical gymnastics, just the press of a button. The latest AirCar is safer too. Unlike early flying car attempts that were essentially unsafe home-built planes with wheels, this model includes the same kind of ballistic parachute found in high-end general aviation aircraft, something that can potentially save lives in catastrophic emergencies. And unlike traditional private planes, the AirCar is street legal. It meets rigorous road safety and aviation standards alike. On top of that, Klein Vision is making moves to collaborate with policymakers and air traffic controllers. They are working with partners to set up dedicated AirCar flight routes connecting major European cities by 2027, aiming for seamless intercity travel. Air traffic integration is no small feat, but it is central to the AirCar's ambitions. As one EASA official recently confirmed, "We are actively evaluating new certification pathways to accommodate innovative aircraft designs like the AirCar while upholding the highest safety standards." And the numbers are compelling. Simulations suggest that intercity travel times could be cut by as much as 60% compared to traditional car journeys. Imagine a 4-hour drive between Bratislava and Prague reduced to a soaring 1.5-hour flight, including takeoff, landing, and road-to-sky transitions. The value proposition is irresistible to time-sensitive travelers, high-profile executives, and possibly in the future, broader segments as the technology matures. Public excitement, however, is balanced by skepticism. Hybrid vehicles like the AirCar represent a niche but potentially disruptive segment within personal transportation, appealing to those who value both convenience and flexibility, says aerospace analyst Richard Abulafia. There's no denying the ambition, but also no denying the challenges. Getting pilot training, managing rapidly evolving regulations, and, perhaps most daunting, winning over a sometimes anxious public and risk-averse regulators. Let's zoom out. Why have flying cars remained an elusive dream for so long? It's not just about building a machine that can fly and drive. It's about reconciling two fundamentally different regulatory and safety universes. Road vehicles must be crashworthy, reliable, easy to operate, and affordable to insure. Aircraft, meanwhile, must be light, meticulously engineered, and subject to extensive pilot licensing and maintenance standards. Most attempts at merging the two resulted in compromises that satisfied neither world. Another historical barrier: infrastructure. Airplanes need airports, runways, hangars, fueling stations, none of which exist at your average shopping mall or suburban cul-de-sac. The AirCar, by design, tries to sidestep that requirement, but the broader question looms. If these vehicles took off, where would they all land? And who controls such a mixed-use airspace? Now let's unpack the paths the AirCar could take and the ripple effects it might unleash on our world. One future sees the AirCar as a tool for rapid intercity travel. Route planning is already underway to connect cities within 500 miles, making the AirCar a fierce rival for short-haul flights and potentially even high-speed trains. Picture executives, doctors, or first responders departing from a city center, lifting off into controlled airspace and landing near their destination, bypassing both road traffic and airport bottlenecks. Ming Liu, a transportation researcher, notes, "Flying cars can significantly improve transportation efficiency and are expected to play an important role in future transportation. In emergencies, the AirCar could offer life-saving speed. Need to dispatch rescue workers or medical supplies to a disaster zone blocked by debris? The AirCar, capable of both driving and flying, could be the fastest way in or out if weather, safety, and the right operators are all in place. But these missions come with heightened risk. Even with a ballistic parachute, the AirCar will need to navigate bad weather, low visibility, and rapid response protocols, all while maintaining aviation's strict safety margins. For the wealthy, the AirCar could symbolize status and exclusivity. Personalized, premium, and fast, it's a natural fit for those looking to shave hours off commutes or access remote vacation properties. Early market signals back this up. Regional air taxi services in at least 3 countries have placed pre-orders, and customized AirCar experiences are already being discussed in luxury travel circles. But obstacles loom large, and not just technological ones. The regulatory maze is dizzying. As He Xiaopeng, CEO of XPeng, a competitor in the flying car race, puts it, the road to the popularization of flying cars is still relatively long, and one of the biggest difficulties is in having the necessary policies, laws, and regulations in place. European safety agencies are moving, but cautiously. Certification processes, normally designed for either cars or planes, but not both, must be overhauled or remixed. And then there's the question of pilot training. Klein Vision is already partnering with universities to develop specialized pilot programs for the AirCar, but the learning curve and licensing hurdles could limit its appeal, at least at first. Let's not forget the infrastructure conundrum. Feng Xingye, chairman of the GAC automaker, recently called for accelerating the construction of infrastructure, such as takeoff and landing points for the cars, and for opening up more airspace resources. Even if hundreds of AirCars hit the roads and skies tomorrow, where would they take off and land? How would cities adapt to these hybrid vehicles? There are other risks too: airspace congestion, the challenge of integrating with current flight plans, and the ever-present fear of accidents in this brand new category of vehicles. Public perception is another major obstacle. Will people trust a flying car to be as safe as their family sedan or the commercial jetliners that crisscross the globe? Would you? We also have to consider sustainability. The current AirCar is powered by a BMW engine, but rising environmental concerns and stricter emissions rules are pushing Klein Vision towards electric propulsion. The rapid switch to electrified flight is not just a technical challenge, it's a logistical and regulatory one. Will battery technology mature fast enough to offer comparable range and power? Or will hybrid and combustion-powered models dominate the early market? Still, there's palpable excitement. As Professor Maria Petrasova of the University of Zelina points out, the AirCar's dual-mode capability could unlock significant time savings for specific intercity routes, offering a compelling alternative to traditional travel methods. The promise of more productive, connected cities and the end of wasted hours in traffic resonates with millions. But as we stand on the cusp of this breakthrough, we have to ask, is society truly ready? Can we build the physical, legal, and cultural infrastructure needed to support a world where cars spread their wings at a moment's notice, and where the skies above our cities are as busy as the roads below? And crucially, who wins and who loses in a world where mobility breaks free from the ground? As the AirCar edges closer to commercial debut, we're left with profound questions. Will this technology deliver on its promise to democratize flight and transform cities, or will it remain an elite curiosity, expensive, exclusive, and ultimately impractical for most? And if it does succeed, how will it reshape industries, urban planning, and even the very notion of what it means to travel? In the next part, we'll dive deeper into these challenges, the regulatory battles, the public's hopes and fears, and the surprising ways AirCar technology could redefine opportunity, risk, and the future of movement itself. Stay with us. Imagine for a moment a world where your morning commute isn't a crawl through bumper-to-bumper traffic, but a seamless journey across open skies. This isn't science fiction anymore. It's the potential reality that AirCar is ushering in. Yet the road, or should we say, the airspace, ahead, is filled with both dazzling possibilities and daunting uncertainties. Let's take a closer look at what our future might hold if AirCar, and vehicles like it, truly take flight. Picture city centers connected by dedicated aerial corridors, where those lucky enough to own an AirCar can bypass clogged highways and arrive at a neighboring city in record time. The numbers are staggering. Current simulations show commute reductions of up to 60% on popular intercity routes. Imagine slicing a 4-hour road trip to just over an hour, moving almost as freely on air as we once dreamed of moving on highways. But with this new freedom come serious questions. Will AirCar actually solve urban congestion, or simply lift it a few hundred meters off the ground? Critics warn of the so-called 3D gridlock, where busy skies could become as packed as city streets. As one aerospace analyst, Richard Abulafia, puts it, hybrid vehicles like the AirCar represent a niche but potentially disruptive segment within personal transportation, appealing to those who value both convenience and flexibility. Even if only a small percentage of drivers take to the skies, that's still hundreds, perhaps thousands of vehicles vying for space above our heads. To address such concerns, Klein Vision is already working with air traffic management systems to map out dedicated routes, almost like virtual lanes in the sky. The European Aviation Safety Agency is racing to adapt regulations and set new standards for this hybrid class. But integration is a massive technical and legal puzzle. As He Xiaopeng, CEO of XPeng, soberly noted, the road to the popularization of flying cars is still relatively long, and one of the biggest difficulties is having the necessary policies, laws, and regulations in place. Let's not forget the human factor. Even if the technology is ready, will society be? Flying, even when automated, demands skills, composure, and an entirely new approach to safety. That's why Klein Vision is collaborating with universities to develop specific pilot training programs for AirCar drivers. Specialized licenses may soon be as common as today's advanced driving certificates. It's an exciting prospect, but also one that raises the stakes for safety and competence. And then there's the cost. With a projected price tag between $800,000 and $1 million, AirCar's debut is undeniably targeted at the wealthy elite and specialized services. High-net-worth individuals are eager to be among the first airborne commuters, and regional air taxi services have already placed pre-orders. But for most people, this future remains tantalizingly out of reach, for now. Could AirCar's initial exclusivity mirror the early days of automobiles, when only the richest could afford a car, and roads themselves were a rare luxury? Professor Maria Petrasova of the University of Zelina reminds us, the AirCar's dual-mode capability could unlock significant time savings for specific intercity routes, offering a compelling alternative to traditional travel methods. Over time, as costs decrease and infrastructure improves, access may well broaden. But it's a gradual process, one that depends not just on technological progress, but on political will, regulatory breakthroughs, and public trust. Of course, premium personal transportation is only one side of the story. Imagine the potential in emergency response. In disaster zones where roads are blocked or non-existent, AirCar could deliver medics, supplies, or evacuation help in minutes rather than hours. That could mean the difference between life and death. Klein Vision's addition of a ballistic parachute system and ongoing efforts to enhance transformation speed, shifting from drive to flight mode in under 3 minutes, show a keen awareness of the stakes and the possibilities. And what about environmental impact? The current AirCar uses a BMW combustion engine, but Klein Vision is aggressively pursuing electric propulsion options for future models, aligning with global sustainability goals. Advancements in lightweight materials aren't just boosting speed, they're also making the AirCar more fuel efficient, reducing emissions for each trip. Still, widespread adoption raises tough questions. How do we ensure the skies aren't just filling with a new kind of pollution? How can we balance progress with preservation? This brings us to the heart of the debate. Will AirCar spark the transportation revolution we've dreamed of, or is it destined to remain an extravagant toy for the privileged few? To answer this, let's look back at the past and forward to the trends shaping our world. The automobile, the airplane, even the smartphone, all started as marvels for the wealthy, surrounded by skepticism and, often, regulation. But innovation has a way of trickling down. Early adopters pave the way, paying the premium and shouldering the risk, while engineers refine the technology and the market slowly grows. Analysts predict the market for roadable aircraft could exceed $500 million by 2030, a significant sum, but still a tiny sliver of the global transportation industry. Success will hinge on more than just sales. It will depend on infrastructure and legislation. Regional governments will need to invest in takeoff and landing points, clear airspace policies, and, crucially, public education. As GAC Chairman Feng Xingye points out, accelerating the construction of infrastructure, such as takeoff and landing points for the cars, and opening up more airspace resources are among the measures needed to support the industry. And then there's culture. Many people are hesitant to even get on a small propeller plane, let alone pilot one themselves. Public acceptance will likely come in waves, first enthusiasts and professionals, then, gradually, the mainstream. Trust is built not just on numbers, but on consistent safety, reliability, and positive experience. So, what does all this mean for you, the viewer? Why should you care about AirCar, even if $1 million flying machine isn't in your near future? First, the rise of vehicles like AirCar will change how cities and regions connect. If successful, these innovations could redraw the map of business, leisure, and even where people choose to live. Shorter travel times could make supercommuting feasible, letting people live farther from where they work, or dramatically expanding the radius of travel for last-minute getaways and urgent trips. Second, watching the AirCar's journey can offer you a front-row seat to the birth of a new industry. New jobs will emerge, not just for pilots and mechanics, but for safety analysts, traffic controllers, airport designers, and even planners for new landing infrastructures. If you're a student or professional looking at future careers, this sector will demand skills in engineering, AI, logistics, and regulatory law. Third, and perhaps most importantly, the AirCar's story is a living lesson in how innovation happens. It reminds us that radical progress is messy. Every breakthrough faces pushback, technical, regulatory, and cultural. But as pressure mounts and vision persists, what seems elitist or impractical at first may, given time, shape the contours of daily life. So if you're intrigued or even a little skeptical, ask yourself, what's the next leap in your own field, or in society at large, that's waiting for early pioneers? What impossible dreams could be reality in another decade if today's visionaries persist? And now, for a secret you might not have heard. The AirCar's wings were inspired by the structure of bird feathers, designed to fold smoothly along micro hinges, an innovation borrowed directly from nature's own engineers. This biomimicry not only improves aerodynamic efficiency, but also reduces the noise and turbulence generated during flight and transformation. Sometimes the answers to our most futuristic ambitions are found by looking closer at the natural world around us. So where does that leave us? The AirCar, as it stands today, is a bold step into uncharted territory. It is not yet a car for the masses, but neither is it merely a luxury toy. It is a signal, a harbinger of change in how we think about mobility, time, and even freedom. If policymakers, engineers, and the public can work together, the AirCar could well be the spark that ignites a broader revolution in personal transportation. Will that revolution happen tomorrow? No. But as history has shown, what starts as a dream for the few can become a reality for the many. So keep your eyes on the skies, and on the innovators daring to reshape them. If you found this journey as fascinating as we did, don't forget to give us a like, subscribe for more deep dives into tech's latest frontiers, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Would you try the AirCar if you had the chance? Or do you think the future belongs to something or someone else?